JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. So for my fellow self-employed, sole proprietor, independent contractor, single member, LLC owners, filing Schedule C, how in the world do you prove that you paid yourself? Well, today is April 14th. We don't know. But talking with a banker, we came up with a plan, and it's this. The bank, at least where we are working with clients that are self-employed so far, is just automatically setting up a separate bank account. Sounds like a hassle, but really it wouldn't be from the standpoint of having a separate bank account, have your PPP money go into that, and then you write a check out to yourself. Now, there was a question of, well, do I write all of it out to myself? Do I do it over time? Do I really need to have a separate bank account? No, but to offer a solution to the question is, how do you prove that you paid yourself if you're self-employed? So a lot of these banks are requiring to have a business account. What I'm understanding is, I guess states are different than Oklahoma. Had a lot of feedback that you can set up a business account as a sole proprietor. Still didn't make a lot of sense then why the banks are saying, well, we can't do a PPP with you because you got to have a business account. So I guess then the follow-up is, well, good news, bank. You're going to get a bank account out of this too. So I guess if they're going to be able to set up a sole proprietor Schedule C business bank account, go for it. If you don't have a separate bank account for your business, hey, doesn't hurt to have one. I think that probably the banks are just pretending they are business accounts, and probably what they're doing is a DBA that's a personal account. So who cares at this point? Whatever. If it qualifies as a business account in everybody's head, then do it. But having a separate bank account for the business, probably a good idea anyways, from the standpoint of just substantiating the money that goes into there is the taxable amount. The money that you're paying out of there, for the most part, would be your deductions. So even as you move forward, it's just good accounting sense. It makes a lot of sense from just tracking your income and your expenses separate. So whether you're doing a gig, a gig worker, this new terminology, right? So, if you're a musician, when you get paid, money goes in there. You're using it to buy any supplies. And then if you need money for yourself, you just write a check out to yourself or transfer the money out. If you are a counselor or you're just doing some independent consulting on the side, I know that it may sound like an extra step, but I think you have to kind of pick your battle here. If you're worried about how do you substantiate you paid yourself, I think this is a great solution. If you have to do it, I don't know. Right now on the 14th, I don't even know how it is that you substantiate that you paid yourself. So I'm just offering a solution for those and just indicating that it's a good long-term solution. And even if it's not a business account, just having a separate account that's a DBA, hey, maybe that works just great too. So at the end of the day, here's the solution on April 14th. Have a separate account. If you have a separate account, boom. Put your PPP money in that. You can use it as you go forward. And then for now, all I can say is if you got the PPP money and we have no guidance, then yeah, writing a check out to yourself. The question of, well, do you write it all out to yourself at once? Sure. From the standpoint of, there's nothing that indicates that you have to pay this out over 8 weeks. What you're indicated is over the 8 weeks, you have to spend 75% at least on payroll. The other expenses, rent, utilities, interest, you can't spend more than 25%. But for the self-employed, out of that account, if you do have some rent, you're paying some utilities, which include a landline and your internet, then pay it out of that. If you have these expenses in the name and it's at your house, I wouldn't mess with trying to pay for that. Just write checks out to yourself. So if later it's like we get some guidelines on how that's supposed to work, then you can work through it at that point. But I bet you wouldn't go wrong having a separate bank account even as you move forward. So just know this, bottom line is if you're getting a true business account, you have to have an EIN. Businesses, okay, get an EIN and have a separate identity. That's what makes it official business account, a commercial account. So I appreciate all the comments saying, well, I've had a business account. Just know this, it's a personal account that the bank's just saying is a business account. So then tell the bank, hey, I want one of those business accounts because I'm a sole proprietor. Here's what a sole proprietor is: somebody that says, hey, I'm a sole proprietor. I am a sole proprietor and I make some money. If I get a 1099 and I don't have any expenses, am I a sole proprietor? Yes. Well, what's this independent contractor stuff? I don't even know why they're making any differences here when you go to get the PPP, because all of it's self-employed income. Independent contractor would be, I'm not taking any expenses, so here's my 1099. Well, you can do that as a sole proprietor too. Sole proprietor is, hey, I filed a Schedule C. How do you know you're sole proprietor? Well, it's just because it says it at the top of the form. Now, what's an eligible self-employed individual? Well, it appears that that's somebody that doesn't get 1099s, they don't have a Schedule C, but they're getting self-employment income from a K-1, from a partnership. So if you have an independent contractor, gig, self-employed, you are a sole proprietor, meaning you're getting dollars, get yourself a separate account. The bank says you need a business account. Again, say, man, thumbs up. You just got a loan out of this and you're going to make 5% for doing nothing but just writing me a check and spending 10 minutes looking over my documents. Congratulations to you, banker. And guess what? You're going to get a business account out of that.